Apparently, there is such a death of shopping malls and such a demand for apartment space that they are turning shopping malls into apartments in America. It's had 5 million views in 3 days.
So welcome to the teeny tiny shoebox apartment inside the arcade. There are lots of others in the building just like this. So mine is about 250 square feet.
Holy shit, she's living like a queen. Basically a CEO. 250 square feet in an abandoned shopping mall. Robber Baron ass home. It is funny to say, if you live in a shopping mall, you'd be like, yeah, I live in like a $300 million house. Yeah, the place I live is actually worth $250 million. Kind of no big deal.
While malls across the U.S. are facing store closures and empty parking lots,
R.I.P.
some are finding a new life from an unlikely source.
Every time I've been to a mall recently, obviously malls are dying, no doubt about it. But what's interesting about it, in the areas I've been to, this is in Arizona and in Texas and in, where else did I go to a mall? And out here in California, is that the rent on the stores is so cheap in some of them that there's so many interesting, like, non-chain stores. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but when you go to malls, and the ones I've been to, you see like a bunch of stores from like a single proprietor, like one person starting their own little business, like selling candles, or some guy was selling unique coffee boba thing. I didn't have it, I don't like coffee, but it's kind of fun. It's like new roots sprouting out of an ashes of a forest fire or something. As long as the mall doesn't die, it's like people are taking it over because the rent is cheaper and they're making new ideas happen. I will say, someone mentioned this, and I now remember, in all of these examples, there is multiple anime stores. Multiple sole proprietor anime stores. One was a samurai sword store. The weebs are taking over the malls.
Almost 70% of Americans live within an hour of a mall that has a high vacancy rate, low consumer traffic, or is abandoned altogether. At the same time, the country is facing a massive housing deficit of 4.5 million homes.
I'm gonna say this. I am a firm believer that we are going to find the idea of a housing shortage a little laughable in some cities. It's not a housing shortage, bro. There is a surplus of housing available. It is the prices have to come down. There's a crash brewing in Dallas, I promise you that. There's a lot of houses. You look at the market, I mean, Florida and Texas are the real examples of talking about this. If you look at the market, there is so much shit for sale now. They are desperate. Actually, wait, I have a slide. Look at Raleigh apartments for rent, dude. Everyone bought these out to try and Airbnb them. Can't do it. He's trying to put them up for rent. Can't do it. You look at real estate. My house is not selling. I have a house in the market for $490K. I can't sell my $490K house. Nobody's buying. Nobody showed up for the. This is happening not everywhere. I wouldn't say it's nationwide. I'm saying in a lot of bubbly housing areas. People are realizing, wait, what the fuck? The prices are not going up. And it's like that scene in Big Short when they're like, it's a gully. But they've made so many excuses. First, it was like, it's a slowdown. Then it's like, oh, the election. It's the election. After the election, they're going to buy. Now we're after the election. People are not buying. Canadian, it's happening in Canada. They're trying to cut rates again. Desperation. There are spots where people are just tapped out at these prices. And it's making real estate people nervous. People that are buying, older and richer than ever. This is the oldest and the wealthiest cohort of house buyers in any year since we've been alive. Nobody who is young or middle class is able to afford a home right now. And there's not that many of these people. They're running out of the capacity and the will to buy inflated price stuff. Is it just the holiday season? Am I being unnecessarily anxious? When we bought our house, there would be 10 to 12 people there at the same time. And the homeowner always had an offer after the first weekend. We're not even getting nibbles. This house is just burning a hole in my pocket at this point. They can't rent it out. They can't sell it. They have to pay a mortgage every month. This is happening to so many Airbnb jocks, so many house flippers. So in some markets, we are at the precipice of like some downturn in prices for real. I can't say it's nationwide, but if you live in Texas, look around, bro.
As of January 2022, at least 192 U.S. malls plan to add a housing component.
The American dream, dude. You get to live in a mall, wake up, walk around the mall shopping all day, then go back to your apartment. You can be consuming 18 out of 24 hours. Can I use Heelys? That'd be fucking sick. It's a walkable, you know what actually is funny? As far as America goes, it's kind of like a walkable city. It's actually kind of, I'm making fun of consume, but it is like, you know, if you had neighbors that you liked, you could walk around and you could go to the food court, and it's actually low key. Dude, if you get a job at the mall, you could just never leave this area of land your entire life. You could literally work, live, and die all within a single shopping mall. That's fucking awesome. No commute. Yeah, it's like you're in a Fallout bunker.
One of the interesting things about the units in the building is that because of codes, you can't have any cooking devices with an open flame.
Oh, that
so
sucks.
none of the units have stoves or ranges.
But there's a food court 30 steps away. You can go get a Jamba Juice.
Do you ever have any concerns about privacy?
Not really. It's something you get used to living in the building, having people coming and going. Everybody has blinds in their apartment that they can raise or lower as they like.
Despite those challenges, residents say having...
Imagine the blinds are open, you're shopping, and you have to look in at someone just having a meltdown. Someone shirt off on the couch, eating pizza, drinking, crying, as you buy your Chipotle or something.
There's little lunch spots, so you don't even have to leave the building. There's a bookstore downstairs, and they'll do author talks in the private lounge area.
It reminds me of the movie The Terminal, if you guys have seen, where Tom Hanks lives in an airport for, I don't know, 6 months or something. It looked kind of fun in the movie.
Some of these business owners that are down on the first floor, how important is it to them to kind of have a built-in customer base with these residents on the second and third floor?
I know a lot of folks are very loyal to...
How important it is to these businesses to have a built-in customer base living here that is forced to shop.
Developers are transforming dead malls into mixed-use spaces, offices, medical facilities, and housing. Of these conversions, nearly 54% are being used for residences and office space. Macy's plans to close 150 of its...
I'm gonna be honest, this is not like, you know, I'm making fun of this, but it seems like a fine idea. People want more housing, they want less stores in the malls.
When you have dead retail space, it can be easier to clear that. Most of what a retail site is parking lot. So you don't have to demo much to demo a parking lot.
I feel like non-Americans don't truly appreciate how based our parking lots are. They're just so big. It's paved paradise is what it is. I mean, you can get a workout just walking one into the other, dude. They're big.
Most of them, like the one at Flatiron Crossing in Broomfield, Colorado, are adjacent to the mall and connected by green spaces or walkways.
This was a vacant parking lot, underutilized parking here at the mall, and we, decided to go with a mixed-use project here.
They're getting rid of the parking lot? Tear down the mall. That's fine. Tear down the parking lot? That's an American institution. We need to have not just enough spaces, more than enough spaces. That's a sacred space. That really ties a community together. People like to know there's a spot where they can park their gigantic SUV or Cybertruck. Over 3 spaces, and it doesn't matter because there's so many spaces that it's not going to be a problem. Tearing down a parking lot feels like burning the American flag, to be honest. I'm not exaggerating.
Another obstacle is
Boring.
design.
Just yellow
Most malls have limited windows, which are essential for residential spaces because they need natural light, making it difficult to convert certain parts of the mall.
I'm sorry, why don't you just live in a windowless gray block in the heart of a mall? Dude, what if every Atrioc fan, we all move into a mall and we make a separate society, and then people could start shops selling to other, like you could start like a hot dog store or something, or a coffee place. The Coffee Cow. It's like a thriving economy. And what if like I don't live there because I like where I live right now, but like I get a tax or a fee on all the that'd be kind of cool, huh?
The mall's becoming cool again, and so being able to live by it, work by it.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm not sure the malls are becoming cool again, and I don't know that you're the authority here on what's cool. You got the same hairline as me, bro. We can't. We're out of the game where we can say what's cool. But this is an interesting idea. Beast, walkable cities, baby. Cool video. Cool video. Very interesting. A cool way that American malls are being revived. Would you be down to live in a mall? I mean, not at the current stage in my life where, I have a wife and I'm trying to start a family or think about starting a family. But like, yeah, I probably would. Right after graduation, when I was just hustling, I would have done this for sure. That's about the price of what I was paying on the Craigslist to live in that family's house when I was hustling for a job in Cali, and I had to babysit. I definitely would have done it around that time of my life. I'm making fun of it, but the American maybe thinks it's kind of beast.